Part 3 of the Kubota 2650 snowblower retrofit on the Iseki tractor. My machinist buddy was able to shorten the shaft for me and get that done. I wanted to point out a couple interesting things. This needed to be shortened 5 3/8 inches to work. And something that he noticed is when he went and he took the weld that was closest to the yoke off and then shortened the pipe, which is about 1/32 of an inch thick. When he went to put it back together, he noticed, well actually, or when he went to cut it apart, he noticed that it was a different type of connection than just a welded connection. Apparently, this being cast iron, how it was designed is it had a slip fit of the pipe over the yoke, and then they put a bead of weld around it, similar to this one, to cause a shrink fit. So I thought that was pretty interesting, that how that was done. So he duplicated that, and he's hoping it's going to work okay. It's just 70/18 weld, and once again, it's 5 3/8 inches is what I ended up cutting off. We'll find out in a minute here whether that's going to work good or not. I need to then cut the shaft off to the right length, and I'll probably just leave it loose for now to make sure that the links are going to be okay, and then I'll go ahead and weld it to here so it's done. So that's a little where we're at. I'll shoot a video here when I get that on and working and kind of wrap this project up. From a mechanical standpoint, looks like we're finished. Just need to do paint, and I think that's about it. The shaft turned out okay and seems to work fine. We'll run it here in a minute. I'll show you. What else did we do? Put a set of lights on the front. Had those extra left over and thought they would work good. Turn those on real quick. That way, lighten up the path instead of the back of the snowblower. The way I got wired is if you put the key on the second switch and it just turns them all on, and that can be accomplished with a diode running between the two signal lines. The little up-down linear actuator ended up working out really nice, and I just beefed this up with a little bit of reinforcement on both the top of the chute and the main body of the chute, and we'll run that a little bit too. So the trick there is just trying to get the stroke with the deflector to be equal to the stroke on the linear actuator. So that came out pretty good. I used a couple holes. I actually drilled this out farther with holes and just adjusted it until it came out to where it was hitting the limit switches. If it doesn't hit the limit switches, it pull out of amp. So that turned out well. Of course, I already talked about the left-right, and I still need to look at that too, how it's connected. And that's about where we're at. So let's start it up here and we'll run it a little bit. So this is about $1,000 on the engine. Seems like it might be a little wobbly, but it's alright. The auger seems to work alright. We'll crank it up a little bit. RPM. batteries last time. So it is possible to convert one of these over, as is the case in most things. And hopefully I showed you what you're up against and what you gotta, or some of the things you need to do. I'd love to move some snow with it, but that's what we have for snow, and we're not going to get any more for a while. Probably till next November, and it's March. So I won't be able to try it out, which is a bummer, but in the unlikely event we actually do get snow, I'll try and shoot a quick video how it works. Hopefully it does work, and when it's under load, I suspect it should be okay. So cost-wise, if we want to take a look at how much this costs to see if it is worthwhile, the blower was $550, $100 to go get it. The up-down actuator on the chute is, I think, 80. Actuator for left-right was 15. Wheels, I don't remember, those were cheap, $10. The sprocket was 50. Miscellaneous metal for the wheels and all the other brackets, probably $30. Machinist shop time at $50 or $60 an hour is probably, I don't know, that's probably getting up there. My machinist is a good friend of mine, and he refuses to take any money from me, so I need to work on that a little bit. But anyway, if you have to take it to a shop, probably to get the you can buy the chain, the sprocket bored and keyed. I think it's $120 if you specify the bore and the keyway on it. To modify the shaft, I'm guessing a couple hours of shop time there, so that could get up there quite a bit, whatever your local shop rates are. Switches, limit switches are cheap, but probably allocate $5-6 for those. Of course, time to do all this is 0, I guess, if you don't count anything for your time, which I have a problem with, but such is life. Lights were $20 or $40 a piece. Of course, you don't have to have those, and I don't know if they're really needed, but had them and had time to put them on, so went ahead and did it. A couple plates, that's included in the steel price, so again, probably $30 for that. Hydraulic hoses, adapters, all that miscellaneous stuff gets racked in there. So, you know, you can see where this easily gets up to $800 or $1,000. I'm not sure what that all adds up to, but you can ask yourself whether that's worth it or not. You can buy a hell of a walk-behind snowblower for that kind of money, or try and get something like this. So anyway, hope that helps some of you guys out there thinking about doing something like this. Appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time.